Hi everyone, and welcome back to our option series. At this stage, you should already understand what the option is, what is the difference between out of the money and in the money options. Also, I hope you understand what is the extrinsic and intrinsic value and how to actually calculate them. Now we need to figure out options pricing. It is rather simple because it only has just one formula. Well, one for puts and one for calls. And here it is. Yes, I cannot understand it too, so don't worry. All the books talk a lot about it. They mention scientists who got Nobel Prizes for this, but none of them actually give you an idea on how to use it and whether you need to use it at all. So, what is the option pricing and what we are going to talk about here? Well, we will try to understand how to calculate a fair price for an option. When you view the list of available options to buy, you will see their prices and you can compare them to what you think the fair price is. You don't want to buy an overpriced option from those sketchy market makers, and you are not going to sell it for cheap to some lucky Wall Street guy. Technically, you will not be able to affect the price of an option in any way. If your calculations tell you that the price is $10, but on the market you see it is currently at 12, well, you will not change it. But you can use it. If the contract is overpriced, then you can try and sell it. If it is underpriced, of course, you can try and buy it for cheap. But be aware that people on the markets are not idiots, or not always. So if you see that the price is weird, double check the calculations and proceed with caution. On the other hand, most casual traders never try and calculate the fair price of an option. First of all, there are tons of models that can help you to price them, and they might provide you pretty different results. And another problem is it just takes too much time to calculate it manually. Also, finding a mispriced option on liquid products is almost impossible. There are thousands of market participants, and chances are pretty high that somebody already found the mispriced option and already used it. There are lots of other ways to see if your option strategy is good or bad in your current particular case without using the overcomplicated formulas. But it is always beneficial to know the basics. It will help you to understand how options work and what affects the price. You will understand if the option is cheap or expensive just by checking the input parameters without actually trying to do the calculations. So, which parameters are used to calculate the price of an option? Since we're not going to dig very deep here, we will take the most standard model for pricing. It was developed by Fisher Black and Myron Scholes in 1973. There are lots of other models that are trying to improve the current one, but for starters, this should be enough. You can see the formula on the screen right now. Do not worry, most of the traders never used it at all. The parameters that are used to calculate the fair option price are the strike of the option, time until expiration, price of the underlying asset, current risk-free interest rate, and the only unknown one is volatility. As you can see, you just get all of the data, mix it somehow in a smart way, and you get the price that the option contract should actually cost. Sounds simple, right? But there is one unknown value. It is volatility. We will talk about volatility in the future videos, but right now you should understand that depending on the underlying volatility level, our chances to be in the money will differ a lot. If the underlying jumps 10% every day, today up, tomorrow down, then up again, then we have way higher chances that the option will end up in the money. If the underlying just goes sideways for weeks without any real price change, then we might expect that the price will be more or less on the same level on the expiration date. And the problem here is that we have no idea what the volatility will be for the underlying. We just cannot predict the future. And the previous stock behavior does not guarantee that it will continue in the same way. So what can we do here? The answer is pretty simple. We just guess. We expect the volatility to be, let's say, 20%, but the market idea here can be very different. Now, based on your educated guess, you can input all the data into the Black-Scholes model and get the option price if the volatility is expected to be around 20%. But your price will be different from the real option price. So why is it, you say? Well, there are many reasons. The first one is volatility. The market can predict a pretty different volatility value for the underlying, whether it's higher or lower. And the higher the price, the higher the expected volatility. The second reason, and it is also important one, is that Black-Scholes model is very limited. First of all, it thinks that you do not have the early exercise risk, meaning that it does not expect you to exercise your right to be paid if the option is in the money earlier than the expiration. Also, the Black-Scholes model does not include dividends in calculations, transactions costs, or commissions. It believes that markets are absolutely efficient and so on. This is just a mathematical model, and it just cannot include all the complexities of the real world in it, so always expect some small error there. I believe we do not need to go deeper into the option pricing at this time. It is important for you to understand, though, that the core of the option price is based on the volatility, price of the underlying asset, the option strike, time to expiration, and the interest rate. And the higher the price of the option, the more changes in the underlying price are expected according to the volatility of the market. We will come back to this topic later to talk more about volatility, probably about other details on options pricing, but we'll have to make a pause for today. And if you still have some questions, please ask them below in comments. Please check if you already subscribed to the channel and like the video. YouTube will understand that we have something worth watching here and will help me to improve the channel.